Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Friction Free Meetup.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here, be with you and the guys today.
Thank you. Could you please shortly introduce yourself first?
Yeah, my name is Pekka, as you know. I have about 30 years plus experience of leading businesses and organizations in supply chain management area in basically four different industrial sectors. It's automotive, it's pharmaceutical, telecommunication, and heavy machining industry. And I had conducted leading these global organizations out of 4 countries, from Sweden, from USA, from Germany, and currently based in Finland. But that was in the past. Today I'm half retired, but maybe it's wrong to say that, but I'm working also very much as a senior advisor for multiple companies through my own firm, Lettijeff Advisory.
Yeah. Let's start the interview. As an experienced supply chain executive, how do you see the adoption and adoption of digital services, digital solution, digital transformation, and utilizing them in manufacturing industry?
Good question. It's a very interesting development what is ongoing, because everybody knows every day that everybody talks about the digital story or digitalization. But my takeaway so far is that there are two sides of the coin when I talk with current customers or potential customers or other companies. Really, is that it can create an opportunity, but also you can get the feeling that it can destroy. This is illustrating a little bit the picture where the supply chain discipline is in. Because if you look traditionally supply chain, it's very much focused on cost and optimization. And you see still that tendency that people are seeking the solution for the digital story, but they still tend to focus very much on optimizing their manufacturing, their materials handling, sourcing or logistics. But they don't really know what to do regarding the digital side. And if you compare, for example, with the customer interface, the customer fulfillment area, you have seen for years already very, very much great solutions in that area, what is happening there. While upstream, we are still in a seeking mode. And I think that but the point is really the current situation that everybody understands from that one, that you can't be in a seeking mode too long time, because we know that the customers are changing the expectations every day. That's why we have sold the customer interface or well ahead in that area. But now it's up to supply chain to take the ball and also drive that change. And the question is how.
Yeah.
And that is what I hear many every day basically, is that how should we do it?
Yeah. From the current state to the future, what kind of opportunities you see the digital transformation brings to manufacturing companies?
If you want to say it in a brutal way, it's a question about survival. Because if you don't change, you will fail. Because you must be able to meet all the very rapidly changing customer expectations, which is, like I said, changing all the time. And I think that a big opportunity for supply chain is really to embrace it. And what they really need to do is that, which I think like almost 80% of the companies I am at, and also what I've been working on, are still seeking the meaning of supply chain. And I think that the opportunity lies in there is that when they can convert their strategic roadmap in supply chain into more customer driven, then they get the point what they need to do, and they can start to find solutions how to improve it. So with my simple words, I would say that you create a roadmap which is customer centric, meeting customer expectations, and then the secondary focus of the supply chain roadmap will be efficiency and effectivity, not the vice versa as it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question: what would be your recommendations for manufacturing companies who are planning to digitalize their supply chain?
First one, based on experience, don't try any big bang, because there is no big bang. There is no one solution. There is not a one process how you want to do it. I think that first thing you need to do is that before you go digital, and before you start to create your digital story, ensure that you have the customer-centric strategic roadmap in place. Concretely terms speaking is that every company, every corporation has a strategic business plan. But you need to ensure that your supply chain roadmap is 100% aligned with that one, and it's having a purpose of serving customer, not the purpose of optimizing the old legacy. That is the first recommendation, or basically the second one, because the first one was that make it simple and concrete and avoid complexity. So I think you need to do that one. And the second or the third recommendation there really is that, relating back to not solving all in one shot, select areas where you start to try out different digital solutions, because it's a learning process. And also, of course, the opposite risk is that if you want to try in all areas, they might take too long, it's becoming too complex, and the world, when you're done, the world has already changed again. So you don't meet the expectation anymore. So it's better to go step by step and really, through your own roadmap, determine what should we do first. Is it simple forecasting? Is it call-offs? Or quality management or engineering changes, but select your areas and implement them fully and learn from it, so your network can learn from it as well. And what I've been looking, for example, is that what should be done first. If I take one recommendation there, is that because there's a leading research institute in the world who is making an annual supply chain survey every year, and they just recently, a week ago, launched a report. Of course, in that report, digital is number one, but almost every company don't know what to do. They don't know. They know the basics of supply chain management, of what need to be done, but they don't know how to digitalize it yet. But also, one good recommendation which came out of that one is that what they said, there were about 1,400 people interviewed from global companies worldwide, from all industrial sectors and for products and services. And they said that we see the benefit in big data analytics, IoT or cloud computing. That is, it seems to be a trend where also companies are going. But or they have also the same view that build your roadmap first. Then you know what to do, and then you do it step by step. But I think that my last recommendation is that, also to everybody, is that there is no option of not doing, because that's why I mentioned in the beginning, it's a question about survival. But you need to pick your own battles where you want to start first, because the customer is king, and they determine the change, and we need to be adaptive in that area. That is what I should recommend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pekka. It was a pleasure, as always.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you again.